Have you been running out of Veiled Crystals? With the introduction of the Armory, we've had access to more builds, which means more masterworking, more enchanting, and more tempering. Veiled Crystals for me have been going up and down incredibly fast this whole season. What if I told you that you could get unlimited Veiled Crystals with a very simple farm? You can net up to 35,000 per hour with very minimal effort, and you do not need to be in Torment 4 to do this. The way that we're going to be doing this is through one of the seasonal quests. As you complete your seasonal quests, you're going to unlock the quests that are going to give you access to the root holds. Now, these root holds have to be done on Penitent. If you look right here, that's currently where we're at right now. It's going to look like this. There's going to be 3 different root holes that you can get to. That's where we're going to be heading to. During that seasonal quest, it gives you access to a root hold without having to use a key. Now, if you do want to hop onto a higher tier, because you have a bunch of keys, you will get more. I did a whole bunch of testing the other night with everybody that was live on stream. So if you guys do want to hop in and do some runs with me, we run things every single night. Stop by the live stream. What we did is that we all went into the root hold dungeons. So what we were doing, we were testing your Torment 4 versus your Penitent just to see what the difference was. As expected, Torment 4 gives you the most material drops out of any of the other Torments or any of the tiers. So we did get almost double, in some cases, the materials that you're going to get in Penitent versus in Torment 4, upwards of almost 3,000 per run. If you have a bunch of root hold keys, Torment 4 is definitely the way to go. If you don't have any keys left, it is completely free to get inside of this dungeon on Penitent. The monsters die very quickly. When you're on Penitent, you're only going to find 750 gear. So as you're running through these dungeons on Penitent, make sure you just leave the gear on the ground. Picking up the gear to go salvage it is actually going to hurt your Veiled Crystal farm, because the time it takes to teleport back to town, salvage the gear, and then you're only going to get anywhere from upwards of about 30 or 40 Veiled Crystals for the salvage, and then teleporting back is not worth it whatsoever. So you're going to go to the end of the dungeon, you're not going to complete the seasonal quest, and we'll talk about that in just a second, and then you're going to exit the dungeon, reset, and then hop right back in. And I'll show you how to do all of that in just a second. This is by far the fastest farm in the game. We're going to hop back into the game. I'm going to show you exactly what it means and how to do this, what options to pick, and then where you need to go. To gain access to the dungeon, you're going to get to a part in the quest where it opens up the root hold dungeon like this. You're going to see the little leaf on your map taking you to a root hold. For me, I'm at a friend in need. This is the part of the quest that takes me to the bleeding root hold. If you've never done a root hold dungeon before, or you're just getting started, when you enter the dungeon, you're going to go and you're going to be faced with different choices, boons and banes. You're going to pick the yellow ones only in order to maximize your farming of the Veiled Crystals. Once you've picked the 2 of them, then you can open up the doors. If you don't have one of the yellow ones, any of the white ones will work because you'll get additional roots. Because this is Penitent, we should have plenty of armor, plenty of resistances. If you are on a level 60 character that you've been running through Torment 1, Torment 2, Torment 3, if you can survive there, you will be perfectly fine here. This minion build here, as you can see, the minions just kill them, everything for me. If you guys want to try out the build, I'll have a link in the description of the video for it. As you move through, you just open up all of the roots. They're going to be on the ground. The exposed roots are going to give us the Veiled Crystals. That's why we're taking the minor rewards, because it's going to increase the amount of Veiled Crystals that we're getting. You'll get faced with your second choice. All of mine have been plus to minor rewards. You can just click whichever one you want because we're on the Penitent difficulty. So resistances and anything doesn't matter. As you go through, when you get to the very end is what we want to make sure that we're focusing on. You're just going to run past all the monsters. You can see the minions are just killing everything for me right now. The slowest part of these dungeons is waiting for the root holes to finish opening up. You can see over on the side of the screen, right over here, we have a count for how many root holes we need. This will help that when you're running through this dungeon, if you find all of them, you don't have to go and explore the rest of the map. You can just keep on running through and collect all of the dungeons, because you don't have to worry about doing anything. I'm leaving all of the loot on the ground. I'm not even bothering killing the monsters. Well, my minions are killing the monsters, but open up the chests too, because the chests should have some Veiled Crystals in there for you. A couple small amounts of gem fragments. So right here, it shows I have one more route to find, and I can see it right over there on the map. Once you've finished collecting all of the roots, you're going to head to the boss. Now, the boss is always in the exact same spot, so you never have to guess. The dungeons are very, very small, which makes them very, very quick. Bosses are always going to be down this direction here. When you kill the boss, though, it is very important that you do follow this exact step, because this will ruin up the farm for you, and you may need to start another character. You're going to pop open the boss, and then when the boss dies, you're going to collect all of the Veiled Crystals. Do not click anything. As you can see right here on the map, a friend in need, the quest pops up. If I talk to Ona, I will actually complete the quest, and the root hole dungeon will close. So what I'm going to do is I bring up the little wheel, I go to leave dungeon. Now, because of the wheel is a little weird right now, you can actually hotkey that if you want to make it a little easier for your farm. Then you can just leave the dungeon. That's going to put you right at the exit of the dungeon. This is going to be the best way to do it. You don't have to go back to town. You can just go right into the very front of the dungeon again. You get out of the dungeon, you pull up the map on your keyboard, you can actually hit J, and then you hit reset dungeons. And then that is going to reset the whole dungeon for you, and you go right back inside, and then you can repeat that again. That is by far the fastest Veiled Crystal farm in the game. I'm going to put a run up on the very end of this video with a timer on it so you can see exactly how fast it can go, because I was talking through that one. You can watch that or not, but either way, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm live every night. I would love it if you stopped by, said hi, theory crafted with me. Catch you on the clip side.